So, my beautiful friend has come and gone. We swam, we grocery shopped, we made lasagna. We played the best game ever, Cards Against Humanity. And I figured I would come back after today's Cry Fest and let you know that I'm fine. Man, this journey is something else. So something else that happened today that I didn't mention that is probably a wonderful way to lead into why are you doing this and what is your history, right? So why are you getting your boobs cut off? So today, when I'm checking in with the nurse, she says, "Tell me why you're here today." And I say, "Talk to Dr. blah 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 about getting a double mastectomy." And she referred me over to talk to Dr. So-and-so about reconstructive surgery. And she said, "Okay, all right, I understand. So where's the cancer?" And in that moment, I felt like we keep coming back to this. Is it cancer? Isn't it cancer? Is it cancer? I don't know if it's cancer. It's not cancer, but it is cancer. And I felt really, judged. I felt like if I can't prove that it's cancer, then somehow I'm not justified. So that's a really kind of wonderful way to lead into let's talk about how I got here. So when I was 29, I found a lump in my right breast, and they started me on the old let's do mammograms all the damn time. Part of that is because my mom had breast cancer, and her history was 3 lumpectomies, and then, oh, damn, this time cancer. Oh, and by the way, too late. Can we get a lymph node? Sure enough, probably metastasized. Let's just wait and see where it went. And for my mom, it went to bone cancer. And because it went to bone cancer, she didn't fight breast cancer for 5 years. She fought bone cancer for 5 years and lost. And so, in between there, is it breast cancer, is it bone cancer? She did deal with tamoxifen and breast cancer and all the things that go with that. She also dealt with bone cancer. And that's eventually what took her. So then along come Heather with some old 29 years old, got a lump in her breast. So of course we have to do mammograms all the time. And ultrasounds and everything else. So my 2014, most of my mammograms come out fine, and when they don't, they do an ultrasound and they go, "Oh yeah, sure enough, same lump you've had since 1998, whatever." Until 2014, I had a mammogram and it was quote unquote fine. 2015 mammogram, something's not right. And certainly by comparison to 2014, something's not right. So I get an MRI and they go, "Oh yeah, your body's giving it resources. We can tell because when we put the contrast in, something, 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 speculation," right? That's the, holy fuck, call out the guards, speculation, which basically just means that whatever mass is inside me doesn't have smooth edges. So then I unknowingly, at this point, no one said the words to me that I was BIRADS 5. But once I got my medical records, I went and I requested them so I could get a second opinion. At that moment is when I was diagnosed BIRADS 5. We are 95% sure she has cancer. So they send me for an ultrasound. And I really feel like, maybe I'm being biased, maybe I'm being hopeful, I don't know. I feel like they were looking like, okay, so let's go in here and confirm this bitch got cancer. And so they look on the ultrasound and they go, "Oh, see, we knew it. 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters, spiculated mass, about 6 o'clock, right breast." And I'm like, really? Because that's the same spot I've been feeling since 1998. So they send me to a surgeon to get a lumpectomy. I go to the surgeon. He says, we're going to do a lumpectomy. We're going to cut out this part of your breast. We're going to go here. And I was like, okay. So I'm going to be a little bit more clear with you, dude. This has been here for 17 years. I don't see a reason for concern. It's the same basic size every month on my monthly exam. And he goes, I mean, it hasn't changed at all? Well, sir, turns out I don't have a method for finger calibration, but to the best of my uncalibrated fingers analysis of the same breast that I've had since long around 14 or 15, these fingers on this breast, same general area, yeah, I would say no change, no change. But perhaps you have a method to measure precisely. I will say that your ultrasound said 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters, little capsule size. Guess what? Same size that they measured me back in 2003. So if we just go back that far, you're not cutting it out of me. It's the same cyst I've always had. So at that point, I left and I went and got a second opinion. The doctor said, well, radiologist, I looked at your 2014, 2015 mammograms. I'm sorry, but there's still something there. So it's not your lump that you're used to. The lump you're used to is up close to the front, right near your breast, right near the front of the breast, right by your nipple. Yep, that's exactly what I feel. She said that is not where the spot is. It is actually directly on the same axis, but to the back by your ribs. So it's deep in the, right up against your pec muscle. Oh, well that is something different. Let's go ahead and do a second biopsy. I skipped something in there, didn't I? Yeah, so mammogram, ultrasound, mammogram, MRI, ultrasound guided biopsy, comes back benign. You need to go to the surgeon, you gotta get a lumpectomy. So, biopsy comes back benign. Guess what? I'm not surprised. First biopsy came back benign. Of course. Same spot I've had for 17 years. Then the surgeon says, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna cut it out. And I say, no, you're not. 17 years, I'm not doing that. Second opinion. So now I've had one biopsy already. I get to the second radiologist and she says, yep. So about that, it definitely is an area of concern. It's really a problem. They took a biopsy. If I look at their clip, their biopsy is way too close to the front of your breast, closer to the nipple than to the chest wall. So I'd like to do a second biopsy. Okay. So they once again cut into me. They do an ultrasound guided biopsy. And while the radiologist is in there, she says, you have really dense breasts. And I feel like that's a really offhand compliment, but I think what you're trying to say is you can't find it, you can't get to where you need to be. What are you exactly trying to say? I didn't say any of that. I laid on the table and I snickered and I said, okay, take as long as you need, get your sample. She digs around in there. I'm probably on the table for 35 minutes. Takes some samples. Benign. And when I say benign, I have typical hyperplasia and cystic, I don't know what, stuff that's all benign. But nice firm breasts or whatever. And so when it comes back benign, they say, okay, so at this point, we'd like to do a mammogram guided biopsy. And I go, okay. So for me, this is a problem. How long are you going to dig in me before you recognize that, guess what? Beautiful firm titties, no cancer. And she was like, nah, mammogram, pretty sure. You have BI-RADS 5. And I, what the fuck is BI-RADS 5? Oh, BI-RADS 5 means we're 95% sure you have cancer. So we're going to keep digging until we find an abnormality. Some abnormalities inside your body, we're going to keep digging. So we do mammogram-assisted biopsy. Not fun. Don't recommend it. Particularly because mine was an old school 2D, not super sexy mammogram-assisted biopsy. And sure enough, came back benign. Well, we can't stop. We didn't find the abnormality yet. So we're going to go one more time. Last chance. We're going to get an MRI guided biopsy. That was the place where we saw everything the best. We're going to put some contrast in there. Remember the contrast and all that speculation we talked about? MRI. We're going to get you this time. We're definitely going to get it with the MRI. Okay, cool. All right, let's do this. Go in and get the MRI guided biopsy. So it's benign, but you might have PASH. So pathology thinks you have pseudoangioma, stromal hyperplasia, which is a very rare form of a tumor that is non-cancerous. It's not precancerous. It will never become cancer, even though it may actually continue to grow and become a bigger tumor in your body. It will not be cancerous. Okay, we found the abnormality. Yay! No cancer. Bam! I'm off this ridiculous medical appointments every week train that I'm sick of being on. Well, actually, no. We actually would like to recommend a lumpectomy. We still want to go back in there and get this mass out. Okay. So I'm going to need y'all to make a decision. I'll go to your surgeon and let's have a conversation. So I go to the surgeon again and I say, okay, what is the issue? What are we going to do? We'd like to do a lumpectomy and we'd like to use some wires and put them into the clips that are already in your breast. And so we're going to do this thing. Then we're going to cut out an area, but then we're going to cut out some extra. And then we're going to lump. I said, no, you're not. Do you even know what you're going to take? Because the clips that you're going to use as your guide and your measure are of benign areas of my breast. So how do you know? Are you going to go like from the clip to the center of my breast? You're going to go from the clip to the outside of my breast, to the back, to the front, right? Are we going to do-si-do and side to side? Where are you going to take this lump from? You're not doing it. She says, well, we'll take you to the tumor board. We got a bunch of people. We're going to get together, pathologist, radiologist, oncologist, and surgeons all going to get together. We're going to make a decision. So they make a decision. They get back to me. They go, we're going to do a lumpectomy. That's what we recommend, lumpectomy. And we're going to take a mass in your breast and just try and get the whole mass out. Okay, what are you going to cut and from where and how much? Yeah, so I'm going to use the 4 clips as a guide, and then I'm going to take all the mass from around those 4 clips. No, you're not. That's literally a pie slice from the nipple all the way to the ribs, all the way down the bottom. So from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, that bottom quarter of my breast is going to be gone. Do the mastectomy. If we're at that place and you're that sure that I have cancer, then do the mastectomy. And she said, no, because we don't know that you have cancer. So it's possible you don't have any cancer at all. So we just want to cut out this slice. I said, that's not a slice. Well, what we can do is we can take the last 2 clips from the last 2 biopsies and we can cut an area around those. And so it'll be a sphere out of your breast about 4.5 centimeters in diameter. Now, I don't know about y'all, but me, I'm not super smart on the metric system. So while she's on the phone telling me this ridiculousness, I'm Googling up how much is 4.5 centimeters. For those of you who don't know, it's 1.77 inches. Okay, bigger than a golf ball, smaller than a tennis ball, maybe a little bit smaller than a racquetball. Okay, you're not taking a racquetball. That is a poor man's mastectomy. That is most of my tit. What are you going to do? Like, what is it going to look like when you're done? There'll be some puckering and dimpling and scarring, and the architecture of your breast will look quite a bit different than the other breast. Okay. Okay. No. How about no? And take that with a side of hell to the no. That's not going to happen. You're not taking out most of my breast. Have the balls to say you have cancer. We think you have cancer. We're going to take your breast. So I say that's ridiculous. And I get a third opinion.